Alright, Tony Blair. He's not good friends with Tony Blair. He's friendly with Tony Blair. He doesn't, in his book, he states he wouldn't describe Tony Blair as a friend, someone he'd invite over for a cup of tea to his house. I mean, Cliff's got probably about 20 people that he considers real friends, good friends, friendly with Tony Blair. When Tony Blair announced that he's going to take action against Iraq, Cliff saw him on the television, and I remember seeing that bit myself, and Blair was sweating and he was showing all the strains of that decision, and Cliff saw that, and he got in touch with Tony Blair. Would you like to take a couple of weeks in a humanitarian sort of way at my villa in Barbados? And Tony said yes, and he had a couple of weeks there, and Cliff was away somewhere else. I don't know where he was, might have been Portugal, might have been working on tour. Anyway, they're not good friends. Cliff states in his book that they are not good friends. Cliff has never discussed politics, and he's never mentioned the war. Don't mention the war. And I don't know what this bit about Tony Blair is. Are they trying to say he's a paedophile? Isn't it bad enough what he did without all this? This is a distraction. But I suppose they're trying to taint him with more, trying to make the most evil person in the world. Tony and Sherry Blair are regular guests at Cliff's Barbados home. No, they're not. They're friendly. I think Cliff's more friendly with Sherry than Tony. Again, I don't see what Tony Blair, isn't it bad enough what he did? Just to make him a paedophile as well. That's not what it's about, is it? And as for being pictured with Jimmy Savile, work it the other way around. Was Jimmy Savile responsible for what Tony Blair did? No, he wasn't. And Tony Blair's not responsible for what Jimmy Savile did. That's just two separate things there. But by being pictured together, you're trying to link them. Oh, there's some sort of pedo connection there or whatever. Oh dear, Jill Dando. Oh. This, I don't know what to say about this really. This is just a bit too out there for me. Cliff was good friends with Jill Dando. True, fact. It has recently come to light that Jill was also investigating elite paedophile rings when she was murdered. Well, I've just told you that the guy Chris Fay, who came out with the list, whether that list is authentic or not, no one knows. But if you trust in his word, he said in Bill Baloney's video that there's no evidence that Cliff was linked with this. So this is a misnomer. And if you go on, there are two links to Princess Diana's murder 2 years earlier. Well, as far as I know, Princess Diana was not murdered. She was killed in a car accident. But obviously there are things that haven't been resolved there, like who exactly caused the crash. But murder, I don't know. That's another thing. It's all the Illuminati's doing. Everything is down to the Illuminati. Some people, this is what some people think, and everything's a conspiracy. And this is what this is about. There's a conspiracy there. Cliff appears one thing, and behind the scenes, always involved with murder and all sorts of craze. And in fact, Jill's fiance was, oh, I don't know about that. I'm not going to go into that. Oh. But what is interesting is the number of times Cliff was questioned by police about Jill's murder. It was a lot. Yes, he was a good friend, but why was he questioned so many times? Well, how many times? How do you know how many times? If he was interviewed, and he probably was, because he was a good friend of Jill's, she's one of the few people that he did say was a very good friend in his book. So, but how many times? If he was interviewed, it was as a character witness to just tell them what he knew about Jill, what he knew about their friends. and that would have been normal procedure. As for so many times, I don't know where they got that from. How do they know how many times? Oh, I don't know where this is going with Nick Ross, but I'm just to put Cliff's case forward. If you want to know facts about Cliff, read this book. If you read this book and go to the bit on Jill Dando, there's no way in the world you could possibly think he was connected to Jill Dando's murder. He was on tour at when she died, and he heard the news about her death before he went on stage, and he only just got through the show, and he was devastated. And if you read this book, Cliff Richard, in all good bookshops, there's no way you can come to that conclusion. Same with Steve Turner's book. You'll know just how much Cliff was shaken up by it all and how devastated he was. I mean, that just the thought of that just makes me very upset, really, as does all of this. But they don't see Cliff as a real person. They see him as an establishment figure rather than a minority. I see Cliff as a minority of one. If it's an ethnic group, you'd all be called ists and phobes, but and you'd be sticking up for them. But instead, you're sticking a knife in, or the haters are anyway. And this is all for people who hate, and they're spreading hate and lies, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Golden Rain and Other Bodily Functions, another lovely chapter. Do I have to go into this? I suppose I do. There are two separate allegations of squeaky clean Cliff's enjoyment of this pastime. One is particularly unpleasant and involves other bodily functions. The other allegation involves a certain well-known TV presenter who liked to be on the receiving end. Okay. How do they know this? How do you know this? Were you there? Were there any pictures of it? If this happened, how did they know about it? Imagine this happens in your room. Say that's your practice in your room. How is anyone outside of that room going to know about it? They're not, are they? Not unless you tell everyone. And Cliff doesn't talk about his private life. What he does in his bedroom, he tries to keep that private, and people make up stuff. What they don't know, they make up, and this is all made up. This is total fabrication, and that is a fact. Oh, let's go on a bit. There we are. Let's go down a bit. Right, let's move on. And Melvin Bragg, he's probably met Cliff a few times over the years. Cliff made the South Bank show with him. But is Melvin Bragg gay? I don't know. No idea. But again, if you look in Cliff's books, he doesn't feature in that. Hardly at all. And certainly not that way. Oh, here's another chestnut. Giving up his UK citizenship to become a fully fledged citizen of Barbados. It was a lot earlier than that, I think. Cliff actually moved to, or he didn't move to Barbados, but it was in the year 2000 that David Lloyd approached him about a plot of land in Barbados, and he said, "Are you interested?" And Cliff said no, never considered living there. But then David Lloyd showed him the plot of land, and Cliff fell in love with it, and he worked on the design of his home there. It's all built around that time, and he's moved to Barbados because he doesn't live in England anymore. He only comes over here to work. He does a couple of weeks, and he comes over for Wimbledon and Ascot, I think, but he doesn't live here. He just spends a few weeks here when he's working. The rest of the time he's in Barbados and Portugal, and in Portugal he's got his wine business going. And if you were Cliff's age, you'd spent all this time entertaining people. You're past 70 years old. Wouldn't you want to stay in the sun? And wouldn't you want to escape this sort of crap in your own country? Wouldn't you? I would. Okay, let's go on. And also the theory that he's escaping justice in Barbados. Well, that's disproven when these recent accusations came, where Cliff is supposed to abuse someone at a Billy Graham rally in front of thousands of people. I won't say much about that, but I'll say two things. Cliff Richard, the most important things in his life are his family and friends, of course, but in the public domain, his faith and his career. So would he sacrifice that for us in front of thousands years and years ago? No. Sorry, but that's garbage. Anyway, he came over from Portugal. He didn't hide in Barbados he came over from Portugal, and the police interviewed him, and he wasn't arrested and he wasn't charged, and he's not been found guilty of anything. So why are you casting doubt on him? Right. Why is that, Cliff Harry Webb, Kitty Richard? Any particular reason? Oh yes, and all those super injunctions you've issued. Maybe it's because of this. Yes, videos like this and other crap on the internet. Oh yes, this is the most damning thing. Right, why is that Cliff Reg Webb? Okay, they know all these facts about Cliff Richard, right? But they don't even know his bloody name. You've only got to go onto Wikipedia, and it's Harry Webb, and they've called him Cliff Reg Webb. Okay, it's because they just look for dirt, they don't look for facts. And this is the end of this video, and I hope you've gained something from it anyway. I think I've covered every issue. Right, I might do one on Twitter another time. So if you've got anything on there that says anything about Cliff being a pedo, take it off, because you might be on the video. I don't want you being subject to legal action or anything like that. I know some people mouth off and say silly things, but to put this out there, it's just nasty, isn't it? Right, okay, goodbye. Thank you for watching.